How can you understand major literary movements? Imagine stepping into a world where writers are all speaking the same language, sharing ideas, and shaping stories in similar ways. That's what a literary movement is all about. It's a group of authors and their works that reflected common styles, themes, and goals during a specific time in history. These movements often mirror the cultural, social, and political changes happening around them. To understand them, start by noting the time period when they appeared. For example, Romanticism began in the late 1700s and lasted into the early 1800s. It focused on emotion, nature, and the idea of the sublime. Modernism, which came about from around 1890 to 1950, experimented with new forms like stream of consciousness narration and focused more on characters, inner thoughts than on traditional storytelling. Next, look at the key authors and their famous works. For Romanticism, writers like William Wordsworth and Mary Shelley are central. Wordsworth's poetry often celebrates nature and emotion, while Shelley's novel Frankenstein explores human creativity and fears. In modernism, Virginia Woolf and James Joyce are important. Woolf's novel Mrs. Dalloway uses a stream of consciousness style to show characters, inner lives, and Joyce's Ulysses breaks traditional narrative rules. Knowing these authors helps you see how each movement shares common goals, like emphasizing feelings or experimenting with form. Understanding the historical context is also vital. Movements often respond to or react against events or social changes. Modernism, for example, was influenced by the upheavals of World War I and the rapid changes brought by modernization. Recognizing these influences helps you see why writers chose certain themes or styles. Remember that some authors may belong to more than one movement or shift between styles. For example, realism aimed to depict everyday life accurately, while naturalism took that further by showing how environment and heredity influence people. Movements like symbolism and surrealism also have their own features but sometimes overlap or evolve from each other. When you study literary history and events, understanding these movements helps you see how literature reflects human experiences over time. It gives you a framework to interpret themes, styles, and innovations in different works. To sum up, understanding major literary movements involves recognizing their main features, learning about key writers and their works, considering the historical background, noting how movements relate or differ, and applying this knowledge to appreciate how literature develops. This approach helps you connect writers, their works, and the broader story of literature through the ages.